from the jump. I think we all kind of recognize that. Has a lot of knowledge and gives us a lot of golden nuggets when it comes to film or even how we should play. I feel like that's been a big thing with him. How he is though, you know, he comes with the juice every day. He's the same guy every day, very consistent. So I've been really appreciative about that.
He talked in the spring a lot about player-led leadership, player-led meetings, things like that. How advantageous do you see that being for this team as just sort of a veteran of college football?
Huge, because leadership's, you know, uncomfortable sometimes, and you know, he gives a lot of opportunities for us to do that. You know, his favorite saying is like, leadership is best coupled with action. So we get a lot of opportunities to do that with him.
Is there inspiration to your nice kicks or your suit or anything?
Huh?
Any
inspiration? No inspiration. Kind of threw it on last minute.
Okay. Keenan, I guess this time a year ago, you were probably thinking, you know, play one season at Tennessee and kind of move on with your football career. Obviously, last year I played out how it did. What were some of the factors that made you want to come back? And obviously, I'm sure last season had a lot to do with it, but was there anything else that sort of drew you back to one more year?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of things put together. I feel like that kind of helped me want to come back. At the end of the day, it was the best thing for me. I felt like to be here in Tennessee, and especially I felt like seeing how much talent and the type of guys that we had on this team, man, we could actually go win it, you know, and compete for those championships that we were talking about. I think that was the thing I was most excited about coming back for.
There's a lot of smoke on Aaron Carter having a breakout season. What does he have to do to make that breakout season happen?
Keep doing what he's doing. Yeah, AC, he grinds every day. He puts his head down. We have a great linebacker room that are all kind of like him too, that really put their head down, really humble and willing to learn. I think that's the great thing about AC, is that he's going to show up on Saturday because of the way he works.
Kenny, what about James Pierce Jr.? Broke out, you know, big time last year. How much attention did he start to get as the year went on, and how much do you guys expect that this year?
Expect the same thing, but better. James is James, and he has all the talent and ability in the world. And I get to see that firsthand. You know, I lift with him every day at my rack. So just excited to see what he can produce. We're trusting him a lot in his position and his role. So we're excited to be a part of that collective defense as well.
Of course, the offense gets a lot of buzz under Coach Heupel. What gives you, you know, the optimism and encouragement that the defense can kind of take over the conversation this season?
Just a special role. I think, you know, how we've kind of viewed it is, can we get our offense the ball? That's always been the thing as defense. How much takeaways and stops can we do? Because we know when we get our offense the ball, they can score. So that's really our goal on defense, is to get that ball to them.
You talked a little bit about the linebacker room. You've been a part of several linebacker rooms in your career. What's maybe different about this particular group going into the season compared to some of the other ones that you've been in?
Man, all 12 guys, and we got a lot of maybe younger guys, but you wouldn't be able to tell like the way that they work and the things that they sacrifice each and every day. So I think that's the big one I'd say, is that there's no slacker in the room. It's a high standard, high expectation in that room right now.
Kenny, what about Nico as a leader on this team now that he's QB1? What's that like?
It's been actually really cool to see his maturity and his growth over the time that I've been here. Been kind of seeing him as coming as a freshman, and especially this offseason, really taking over the team, taking over that leadership role. And I feel like as players, like, you know, we kind of have an accountability factor to him. Like, we owe it to him. You know, him being maybe a little bit younger, we still look towards him to lead us at the end of the day.
Keenan, not specifically about your injury from last year, but I'm sure it can limit what you can do sometimes in the off season. How would you describe yourself physically heading into this season as opposed to 12 months ago?
Amazing. No setbacks right now with my arm. Haven't had any real problems with it this offseason either. It's pretty 100% at this point.
How exciting is that?
Really exciting. Yeah, man. Being healthy is always a blessing, so each day I wake up and I'm grateful for that.
Do you expect to, when you guys get to camp, to have days where they're going to like pull you back and say, hey, maybe or are you going to tell them off? I don't want to miss anything on the field.
Nah, man, I'm so excited to get back and be on the field, so nah.
You talked a little bit about William Inge, but Tim Banks, what is he like as a defensive coordinator? What's the story about him that maybe nobody knows?
me think on that story, but Coach Banks, you know, he gets after it, and you kind of get the vibe of his defensive mastermind, you know, his scheme and what he wants in the defense. I think he does a really good job at like explaining what we should do. And I'm trying to think of any funny stories. Nothing's coming to mind right now, but I do. I'll get back to it.
Do you have a better understanding of the defense? You had just been on campus a few months a year ago. Now you've been with the team, the program, more than a year. How does that compare?
Yeah, I mean, a lot more than I did, but really just putting in the extra time to even learn the entire defense as a whole, different positions and things like that can go a long way. So that's really what I've been focusing on recently.
Been a lot of discussion about the secondary, a lot of turnover back there. What do you like about the guys that are back there?
Got some guys that are competitive and a lot of talent back there on the back end. We got some young guys, a lot of speed, a lot of length, a lot of, I don't know, sideline to sideline. So I'm excited to see, because a lot of them, right, have played too much. Mm-hmm. So excited to see a lot of them compete here in fall camp and then to do what we need to do on Saturday.
Did you get a lot of reps in the spring with the in-helmet communication? Is that sort of going to be your role, and how is that different for you?
Yeah, it was interesting for sure. It was interesting getting used to, you know, the volume level, too high, too low, can't hear nothing, or it's muffly. So Coach Banks and me going back and forth, like what's working, I think it's been a cool learning experience. I think it's gonna help a lot though.
Was it an adjustment period at first, having somebody in your ear, knowing your whole career you've never really had that person?
Yeah. No, it's like a little whisper. It's like right here in the back of the head, so it kind of threw me off for a sec.
You probably had the volume turned all the way up just to get ready for the season. When you guys are on defense, and especially at home, it's going to be loud. You're going to have to probably have the volume all the way up, right? Was that a different thing for you in the spring, just having to adjust that based on in practice versus getting ready for a game?
Yeah, no doubt. It was definitely a little bit of adjustment. I think in the long run, though, it'll pay off.
Coach Banks is pretty calm with his demeanor, seemingly. Can you imagine Mike Eberle being the one?
Probably have to. No, he made me want to hit something if he's in my ear.
Is Coach Banks pretty calm on the headset, or does he get animated when he's?
He can get animated. Yeah, he can get animated for sure. But he definitely, you know, when it comes to checks and things going on in defense, you got to be pretty collected to get it across.
All right, anything else? Thanks, Keenan.